My brothers and sisters, rejoice, for it is yet another week in which we are blessed with the gift of living at the same time as the smartest, wisest, richest, funniest, and coolest person to ever walk the earth. And not only do we get to enjoy this immense privilege, we are also blessed to be able to occasionally gaze upon his works with our own eyes whenever we happen to be sharing the road with a Cybertruck. Okay, jokes aside though, it is a truly remarkable car, folks.
Sure.
Though maybe not exactly in the way that Elon intended, because we can't think of a single other model of car ever released that costs this much money and has this many problems.
It's only been about 5 months since these things started shipping out to customers, and at this point, not a week goes by without seeing owners who waited 4 years for their Cybertrucks complaining about what a piece of shit they ended up with. Now, of course, they always make sure to note that it's still the best car that they've ever owned, and that Elon Musk is still the smartest man alive. And this is what it must feel like to have seen a man create the wheel.
Yes. Yes.
Just such an honor, sir. It's an honor to be one of your test subjects.
Yeah.
And I pay you for the privilege. The whole bit about it being the best car that they've ever owned.
No, it fucking
isn't. That is objectively a lie. If you owned a Corolla.
Literally any mass-produced car from the last 30 years, none of them has been this much of a piece of shit. I'm sorry, you're lying.
And you're just in a cult. These people waited 4 years and spent $60,000, and almost certainly in every case, way more than that.
Yeah.
On a truck that can't actually do truck things. It has to be cleaned on a daily basis to avoid rust, breaks down out of nowhere, and that's sometimes within minutes of delivery. You got red lights and bells and whistles going
Beep,
off.
boop, boop, boop.
Well, at least the car tells you it's broken. Oh, that's cool. Most cars just don't break when they roll off the lot.
Yeah.
So to admit that this was all a terrible mistake would be too much for these cult members. But Cybertruck owners can't just pretend everything is fine in the face of all these problems. So they vent their frustrations in a very safe space of online Cybertruck owner forums.
So let's enjoy a bit of Schadenfreude today by checking out some of these posts, most of which we are sourcing from an article this week in Jalopnik. Here's one from CybertruckOwnersClub.com titled, "Worst delivery in my life, parentheses, truck died in 5 minutes. Took delivery today, all-wheel drive, made it 1 mile down road, started getting steering error, flashing red screen. Pulled off the side of the highway, now the truck is dead and I'm waiting for a tow truck. Dealer couldn't do anything for me. It was great for 5 minutes. Tried everything, restarting, screen is stuck black and keeps beeping. Tesla really rushed these trucks out. What a nightmare. Another satisfied customer."
You have been banned from the Cybertruck's owner club.
They are apparently pretty ban happy at some of these forums.
Yeah. Here's another post titled, "My Cybertruck will not start / power on. I've had my truck for 2 days. Got it in this morning. Everything was on. Went to press the brake to put it in reverse and everything went black. Power door button wouldn't even let me out. Had to use the manual release to get out. I cannot get back in either. My battery is at 40%, so no, it's not dead." Has anyone had this problem?
Yeah, Mitch McConnell's sister-in-law.
Yeah, well, that didn't end up very well.
This exact problem. Put it in reverse, but
Uh-oh, now the doors are locked. Luckily, this guy wasn't in a lake. So down below in the comments, we've, of course, got someone calling this concerning. But here's someone being a little bit more helpful. Yikes, that is not nice. If all the power is out, to get in, you will need to use the frunk release to connect a 12-volt battery in the frunk to open the doors. I think it's in the manual how to do it. You might be suffering from the PCS critical failure or rear harness problem mentioned on other threads. Are you sure you can't connect to it or use the RFID key, etc.?
it's a simple fix, folks.
For decades.
Did you even read the fucking manual?
For decades, humans would walk up to a car, open the door, turn the key, and drive away.
Yeah. Well, those people didn't know how bad they had it.
Yeah. Without all this stuff going on, what are we going to do with all your free time?
Yeah.
And the added bonus of getting a thumbs down whenever you drive by someone on the freeway. We had it too easy for too long. Yeah. We had to spice things up a little bit.
Cars were too functional.
And by the way, that's not a dig at electric cars. There's plenty of very successful electric cars out there that don't trap their occupants and actually start and run.
Yeah, I would say there are other companies who are maybe a little bit more mindful of the unique challenges that come with having an all-electric car.
And mass producing them.
You would think that Tesla, of all companies, that would be the case. Yeah. But when they decided they needed to scale up production, Seems like that went out the window.
Well, here's the original poster with an update on the situation. I called Tesla and they offered to poke it to wake it up, but I'm not with the truck anymore, so I will try that later.
What?
Once again, thank you, Elon. Thank you for poking my truck.
Yeah, we're going to poke that. Just hold tight. What does that mean?
They're just going to nudge it a little bit. Electronically.
We're going to sign it up for a Facebook account in 2004.
Yeah.
And then we're going to poke it.
And we're going to flirt with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The truck is rock hard and ready to drive.
Over on the Tesla Motors Club forum, we've got this honest review of the Cybertruck. My honest review got deleted on Cybertruck owner forum, and I got permanently banned. Somehow, you're not allowed to be remotely negative about the Cybertruck. But people need to hear the truth. No, it's not glorious. The Cybertruck isn't a truck. It's a toy truck at best, an experimental concept at worst. I rented mine in LA and spent 24 hours with it. And they then list just various complaints about the suspension, steering, sound system, headlights, wipers, windshield, and just a general lack of visibility that they describe as borderline dangerous, before concluding their review.
All in all, this is the theme of this truck. Cost cutting. Then cost cutting even more. Nothing about it is good. It feels super cheap. And I'm baffled that some folks spend $100,000 on this truck. It's not done yet. I was a big fan of Tesla until I tried the Cybertruck. I feel like people are getting conned into the hype of this truck. It's all plastic. It's all cheap. It's all too fragile. I cannot dream of going on trails with this truck. Unsure why so many positive reviews exist out there. I get it. It's a different style from the exterior. But come on now. It's 2024. It's a $100,000 truck. You gotta expect more. I feel reviewers are afraid of speaking the truth because they want to keep getting new release car to review. But that doesn't help the community when they sugarcoat it. This is the truth. I'm not against Tesla. I'm not a shill for GM or Ford. I have zero skin in the game. I'm just a normal dude that enjoys cars and trucks since I'm 6 years old. The Cybertruck was such a disappointment. Feeling bad for those waiting patiently for it. They have no idea how bad it is. And could you imagine? Yeah. Could you imagine having this pre-ordered and you've already committed and there's no backing out and you just see off in the distance this pile of shit and problems coming your direction?
I mean, listen, a lot of people don't have enough problems.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The more time they spend troubleshooting this truck, the less time they have to get into QAnon and stuff like that. So,
we argue all the time about how people need hobbies, and here Elon Musk gives one to some people, and who are we to complain?
I mean, so many people, it's very appealing, even now, to have get an old car and fix it up.
Yeah.
Have a little project.
It's like a Benjamin Button version.
Yeah, now you can get a new car that offers that same experience, although nothing on it can actually be fixed by you. Yeah. It can only be fixed by specific service centers, which are few and far between and don't answer the phone, and it takes just a long time for them to actually see you and do anything.
And while you're driving it, people give you the thumbs down.
They do.
They call it the Cybertruck hello.
Anyway, just a few more of these forum posts. Here's one describing an experience with autopilot. I encountered a truck on the other side of a 2-lane highway. My Cybertruck suddenly made a hard brake stop when we both have a clear, wide enough space between us. Luckily, there is no vehicle at the back, as it would have been a definite collision. Note, the autopilot is simply a glorified reactive cruise control. I would say that's even overstating it, because my car and most cars these days have a actual reactive cruise control, and mine has never slammed the brakes while I'm going down the highway just because a car happens to be in oncoming traffic on the other side. Nothing glorified about it. But
nothing terrifying about that happening either, let alone someone being behind you, but also your car reacting in any way when you're traveling at a high rate of speed against oncoming traffic.
Yeah, that's the Tesla experience. You got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And finally, here's yet another owner experiencing a total breakdown just days after delivery.
So my beautiful Cybertruck get towed to the service center this morning. When driving around town yesterday, after receiving the truck last Saturday with only one home charge to 80%, it keeps beeping about the battery has reached max limits and won't be able to charge. This is happening while driving. Parked the car and screen went black. Reset the screen, everything came back on. Checking service and it shows HVBAT_A223 error, but okay to drive. We drove straight home and tried to plug in. It started charging for 5 minutes and stopped charging. HVBAT A260 error. Call Tesla emergency service and got it towed. Irvine Center won't accept it due to too busy. Costa Mesa can't accept it because it does not have the right lift. Another one in Tesla service Costa Mesa North finally accepted it, waiting for service center to come back with a diagnosis. We actually don't have the equipment necessary to even get a gander at the underside of our own vehicle.
Yeah, sorry.
They have to build a custom lift for this bad boy, or you can take it down to the Flying J and put it up on one of those semi-truck lifts.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine with its size, I mean, increasingly, it is really not that much bigger than your average truck these
It really
days.
isn't after seeing it in person.
I imagine like that does present problems with just service.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably only have a couple lifts that can handle a vehicle of this size and weight.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to wait.
Yeah. Got to take it down to the loading docks. Get it on one of those pallet movers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, just one more bit of Cybertruck fun for today.
Because this is fun for us. Sorry, Elon.
This is what I consider fun.
We've been waiting. We called it a mile away. We said, what a nightmare this is going to be.
4 years out. I'm here in 2019 going, and then pulling back the bat for 4 years.
Yep.
And then boom, 2024.
It's just so satisfying.
Home run.
Yeah. So,
But here's Autoblog with maybe the most damning evidence yet that the Cybertruck is not a truck in any meaningful sense of the word. Tesla has long touted the Cybertruck's capability, noting its 11,000-pound towing capacity and off-roading chops. Recent testing by Bowless, a high-end trailer builder, showed that the truck might not offer the best range while pulling a load, however, and found that one of Tesla's SUVs outperforms the pickup in how far it can tow. Bowless CEO Geneva Long posted the company's test results on LinkedIn, in which the Model X achieved better real-world range numbers while towing an EV-friendly Bowless Volterra trailer, which weighs 3,250 pounds. The SUV covered 71% of its 330-mile range estimate, or 235 miles, while the dual-motor Cybertruck made it just 160 miles, or 47% of its Tesla-claimed 340-mile range. Towing capacity is one thing, but the truck's disappointing range estimates mean that pulling a trailer any significant distance is going to be a hassle.
yeah.
So they literally already have an existing Tesla that is better at towing than the pickup truck
Yeah.
that they just released.
Yeah. And then there was that picture of the guy that was like, no, it's fine. Look. And he put the 2x4 in the back. And everyone was like, it looks like your truck is sick and you're taking its temperature.
Yeah.
Because it's just hanging out of the back. One bump and it's out of there.
There was another guy this week who was really proud of himself for loading what looked as 6 or 8 bags of garden soil into his truck bed,
yeah.
showing off. And it's like, buddy, the amount of space that you are taking up, that is a back seat in any normal sedan.
Someone followed up with a post with twice as much soil in any normal car.
Yeah, no.
You can just put the seats down and it goes in the trunk.
It's very funny. Even when I had a sedan,
Yeah.
I was hauling 8-foot lumber in that fucking thing.
Yeah.
So you're gonna need to show me a bit more to gain my, my approval. Make me impressed. I'm sorry, I'm not impressed.
Yeah. So
Back
far,
to Home Depot with you.
So far, doesn't seem like a really good investment.
No.
Mm-mm. But in other Elon news, in our previous episode this week, we talked about how Elon is being sued for defamation by a man who he falsely accused of being a neo-Nazi and/or undercover federal agent on Twitter to his hundreds of millions of followers, and how Elon and his lawyers desperately tried to prevent the transcript of a recent deposition from being published because the contents were that embarrassing to him. Elon comes off as genuinely unhinged in the deposition and very just stupid.
Yeah.
And it's also that special, unhinged Elon way where he tries to come off sounding smart and confident, despite clearly having no idea what the hell he's talking about.
You would think for a guy who is constantly involved in litigation, constantly has at least a half dozen lawsuits going on, he would have some understanding of just basic law at this point, but clearly he does not.
No. Also, he's confirmed for the record what many have long suspected, that he did, in fact, have a burner account where he role-played as a baby.
That is confirmed. Double confirmed.
Yeah, and also people are pulling up tweets that were sent from that account, and some of them are really fucking sad.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Grimes, why did you leave SpaceX Daddy? He builds rockets. I want to see Daddy.
He had one. Do you like Japanese girls? Anyway, as if the whole thing wasn't embarrassing enough already, it might now end up being even more embarrassing for Elon Musk's personal attorney, Alex Spiro. Here's Reuters. A California man waging a defamation lawsuit against Elon Musk has asked a judge to punish one of the billionaire entrepreneur's go-to lawyers, Alex Spiro, who called the move an attempted shakedown on Tuesday. New York-based Spiro engaged in the unauthorized practice of law by preparing legal filings for Musk and appearing for his deposition, despite not being licensed in Texas and lacking the court's permission. Lawyers for plaintiff Benjamin Brody said in a Monday court filing in Travis County District Court.
Brody claims in his lawsuit that Musk falsely suggested on his social media platform X that Brody participated in a right-wing extremist street brawl last year in Oregon. Musk was questioned in the case on March 27th, and Spiro showed up unannounced to the hearing, Brody's lawyers said. Spiro's behavior during the March 27th deposition was astonishingly unprofessional, as he continually interrupted the deposition with commentary, gave numerous improper instructions not to answer, berated opposing counsel, insulted plaintiff's claims, mocked counsel's questions, and generally acted in the most obnoxious manner one could contemplate without crossing into parody, Brody's lawyer said.
Yeah, I mean, so the stuff about professionalism, I guess that's at least kind of subjective, although the transcripts, yeah, he comes off like a bad lawyer.
Yeah.
But the fact that this guy isn't even authorized to practice law in Texas and very clearly acted as Elon's attorney during this deposition for this Texas case, that's incredibly funny. What are you doing? What the fuck were you thinking?
Not only does Elon not know about anything, he hasn't learned anything, his lawyer also hasn't.
You can't do that. That's like basic lawyer stuff. Like, you have to be licensed to practice law in any state in which you do so. You can't just show up to a Texas deposition and be like, I got this.
Okay, but can you show up to the Court of Chancery?
Well, no, I think you have to get a special, that's a special thing.
Because he's in there a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, if you got the Chancery license, like what's a little Texas license?
Yeah.
But yeah, in the filing by Brody's lawyers against Spiro, they pull off a great little move right here to help ensure that they get the judge on their side. Spiro, a Madison Avenue celebrity lawyer, does not feel compelled to obey our rules. New York City! Your Honor, this greenhorn...
We need to march him right out of this
But
state.
it's true. This New York City lawyer comes strutting into this Texas courtroom thinking he knows how to practice law in our great state, in the great state of Texas.
That should be the rule. It's exactly like the scene from Inglourious Bastards where he does the number 3 wrong.
Yeah.
He has to slip in like, you know what they say, Mr. Spiro? They do say that the stars at night are big and bright.
Mr. Spiro, how are you enjoying your stay in Texas? Would you say that last night the stars were... big and bright?
Well, Your Honor, I don't hear any clapping. Case closed. You're free to go. And by free, I mean pay that man $1 million.
You owe that man a bunch of money.
Oh, let's move on now, though, to the latest improvements that Elon has made to Twitter, the platform currently known as X. Last week, in addition to making the genius decision to start verifying accounts belonging to famous and notable people, and not just anyone who pays $8 a month, he also brought back another old feature that he got rid of when he took over. Back in the Twitter days, for a while it was actually pretty damn useful to stay informed about current events thanks to the Trending News tab, where breaking news was curated by human Twitter employees in partnership with Reuters and the Associated Press in an up-to-date feed featuring posts by reputable journalists. Well, good news, everyone. The News tab is back. And minus all that pesky human curation, and also minus all of those reputable sources, because those go against my narrative. Anyways, Elon fired all those humans long ago, but they've now been replaced by something even better. Grok. So, well, you can already imagine, but let's check in on how that's going so far. Here's Mashable.
A shocking story was promoted on the front page or main feed of Elon Musk's X on Thursday. Iran strikes Tel Aviv with heavy missiles, read the headline. This would certainly be a worrying world news development.
Yeah.
Earlier that week, Israel had conducted an airstrike on Iran's embassy in Syria, killing 2 generals as well as other officers. Retaliation from Iran seemed like a plausible occurrence. But there was one major problem. Iran did not attack Israel. The headline was fake. Even more concerning, the fake headline was apparently generated by X's own official AI chatbot, Grok, and then promoted by X's trending news product, Explore, on the very first day of an updated version of the feature.
Come on, we need a big story to go viral on the first day or everyone's going to forget that this is an option.
Yeah.
Grok, find the craziest story that would be very important right now.
Grok, get the people talking.
Yes. Grok understands the assignment. It continues, based on our observations, it appears that the topic started trending because of a sudden uptick of blue checkmark accounts users who pay a monthly subscription to X for premium features including the verification badge, spamming the same copy and paste misinformation about Iran attacking Israel. The curated posts provided by X were full of these verified accounts spreading the fake news alongside an unverified video depicting explosions. From there, it appears X's algorithms noticed a potential story trend within these users' posts, and an Explore story page was created. We can deduce from X's own claims about its inner workings that Grok must have then created an official-looking written narrative along with a catchy headline. It did all this based on select users sharing fake news, in an automated attempt to provide context for what the platform itself seemed to assume was a real story.
Great. Fucking great.
Everything's
This is awesome.
Very well.
A sign of things that will only get better as time continues to move forward.
You know, it used to be someone had to push the button to cause the end of the world and World War III. Now, Grok's going to spread some misinformation, and some government's going to see that and be like, oh, God, get over to that computer and start firing off nukes.
It's so funny because Elon Musk is like one of the few like tech guys who for years has been like, AI is going to kill us all. But then he
Not
goes
his AI, though. He made his own AI.
He goes and does this, and this is like demonstrably like one of the worst things AI has done so far, and represents potentially very bad things to come.
This could have been AI's Hawaii missile alert problem. Remember that? What a wild experience.
Yeah.
That was...
We're going to get a lot of fake missile alerts pretty soon, thanks to Grok.
And then you're going to get... everyone's going to get complacent, and then the real one's going to happen. Everyone's going to be sitting around.
Yeah, it's just Grok being Grok.
That fucking Grok's at it again.
Anyway, then on Monday, the day that much of the U.S. experienced a solar eclipse, Grok, in its infinite wisdom, saw a bunch of people joking about the eclipse and acting scared and confused by it, like villagers like 2,000 years ago.
What has happened?
Why has the sun god been covered by the moon god?
It's because of our sins.
Saw a bunch of people making obvious jokes about that and whipped up some news with the headline, Sun's odd behavior, experts baffled. In recent days, the sun has been behaving unusually, sparking widespread concern and confusion among the general public. People have taken to social media to express their observations, with some reporting the sun's disappearance, others describing it as fucked up, and many simply expressing their confusion and curiosity. Despite the public's growing concern, there has been no official statement or explanation from scientific authorities regarding the sun's current state. Nobody knows why it's doing that. Nobody knows.
This is unbelievable. Like, thank goodness. I mean, you would hope that no one is taking Grok seriously at all. But like, how could anyone, even the most like brain dead chud, read this and go, "Yeah, great work, Mr. Elon"?
I mean, there were an alarming amount of people last week with a seeming genuine, just complete lack of any scientific understanding of even just the roundness of the Earth.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're right.
There's definitely people who would see this and be like, I knew it.
Well done, sir. Well done.
And yeah, you look at the source tweets, they're listed underneath the news story, and it's just jokers saying stuff like, what the fuck is happening to the sun right now? And you guys, something is happening with the sun. I don't know if anybody knows about it.
Is anybody else seeing this, or is it just me?
It's basically like, I mean, this is a thing with Twitter, and, you know, there's a lot of low-effort jokes, and you tweet it, you're not stealing a joke, it just happens to be a very obvious joke that a lot of people make at once. And now we have this great AI-powered chatbot that can see when all the same people are making the same joke and then present that joke as fact.
Actually,
that's exciting.
Grok is so advanced that he's actually mastered irony and satire. So he was just, when it's fake news, he's joking. When it's real news, everyone give him a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Grok can never be wrong.
Yeah. Another knee slapper from Grok. The world is ending.
Grok can't disappoint you. You can only disappoint Grok.
He's learning from you. So yeah, this Grok-powered trending news feature isn't just susceptible to parroting disinformation, it's also highly susceptible to jokes. And this was also demonstrated in the wake of last Friday's New York City earthquake. A bunch of people made the joke that Mayor Eric Adams' response to the earthquake would be to deploy even more cops at NYC subway stations. And Grok then reported this as news. Adams versus earthquake. 50,000 cops in subway showdown. New York City Mayor Eric Adams has taken decisive action in response to an earthquake that recently struck the city. Adams has deployed 1,000 NYPD officers to address the situation and prevent further earthquakes. with plans to add an additional 500 cops to the effort. The mayor has even considered utilizing robocops in this endeavor. The response is focused on the city's subway system, where Adams has ordered every cop in the city to be present to shoot the damn earthquake before it strikes again. I mean, it is funny.
This one is like almost
a throwback to the old AI days.
This is almost like on the level of like an Onion story. The Onion would have done a better job.
Yeah.
The joke, if you don't live in New York or follow it, is that Eric Adams and just this New York City historically, their solution to any problem is just
more cops.
We need to flood the subway with more cops, which for people who actually live there, they're like, great. I was in the subway last night and I saw a dozen cops all playing Candy Crush on their phones, like not even paying attention to an actual crime happening 100 feet away.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that last one, it's ridiculous enough that most people wouldn't believe it. You can't shoot an earthquake.
Well, we do have the Floridians shooting at the hurricanes, so...
True.
Yeah.
But the one about Iran bombing Israel shows that this could be very bad, especially considering most people just look at the headlines and don't read any further. But even if it's not spreading believable disinformation on a massive scale, it still really just highlights what a downgrade this era of Twitter has been.
Yeah.
Yes, paying a bunch of human beings to follow trending topics and curate a convenient feed of news costs money. But it added real value to the platform by making it a great one-stop shop for keeping up with the day's news. Getting rid of those people made Twitter less useful, and now bringing back the same concept but powered by AI makes it somehow actively even less useful than when it was just removed.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great job, sir. Love the platform. It shut off on me and it's flashing red everywhere. And it's also saying that Iran is attacking Israel.
Still the best social media platform I've ever used.
Yes, I'm sure we'll get it fixed.
Didn't you read the manual?
But speaking of AI, let's move on to the AI half of the show, starting with some news that will likely be very disappointing for fans of the classic rock band Pink Floyd. Get used to it. It's always a disappointment.
Boomers being fools.
Their iconic album, Dark Side of the Moon, turns 50 years old this year, and to celebrate this milestone, they held a contest for fans to submit animated music videos for each of the album's 10 tracks. And you see where this is going. Also, just a lot of work to ask from people for, like, the potential to maybe win something.
Yeah,
or get acknowledged.
I mean, they're an iconic band that means a lot to a lot of people.
Make an entire animated music video. Go.
Yeah.
There's definitely enthusiasts, and people did submit. It's just crazy. But yes, you of course see where this is going, right? The winners were announced last week, and the video for the track Any Color You Like is AI generated, and very obviously so. It's certainly the sort of trippy imagery you might enjoy staring at while zooted on mushrooms listening to the album, but it's not animation. And the video's creator readily admits this. Here's guitar.com.
Damien Gom's video for Any Color You Like features all the telltale weirdness of large language model created art, including the oversaturated coloration and shaky nonlinear animation. Given that the issue of AI's use as a creative tool and the morality of using tools that are trained on human-created art without compensating said humans is a hot-button issue right now, it's no surprise that many fans were unhappy with the band's decision. A spit in the face of actual artists who poured their heart and soul into each frame of work they made and submitted for this competition, one fan commented on the YouTube page for the video. I'm absolutely disgusted. Given the band's history of working with artists and animators, disappointing, another notes. Countless commentators are disappointed. A band with almost 60 years of history creating art, and it all comes down to this? Fucking over actual artists and rewarding this slop? I like that people are using slop.
Yeah.
Gom, for his part, is upfront about the fact that he used AI to create the video. In a behind-the-scenes video also published on Pink Floyd's YouTube channel, the 3D artist claims he used the Stable Diffusion LLM that he trained using his own locally hosted models rather than scraping the internet. But for many fans, it seems that's not really the point.
Yeah, so it seems like some of the criticism here might be a bit unfair if the artist is telling the truth about training an AI exclusively on his own work. But giving it an award still helps legitimize the vast majority of AI art that is in fact trained on stolen artwork. And also, it's just a bad look for the band.
Yeah.
It's like people are going out of their way to actually produce something worthwhile. And like, even if someone like, but this is about the same effort as like recording like a video music video.
Yeah. I'd say in a lot of ways more effort because you have, in most of these cases, it's animators working alone.
No, I'm saying if this guy is training his own models or whatever and using source that he creates himself, it's like, okay, that's as much cheating in an animation contest as just taking a camcorder out and recording something for the music video. They didn't ask for that.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit the prompt, but yeah, I mean, but you'd also just expect like artistic solidarity. Like,
Yeah.
this shit's affecting the music scene as much as it is affecting writing and visual arts, and yeah, you would hope that they could have some solidarity, and I guess not.
No. Anyways, yeah, there's the nicest thing you could say about the video is like, I guess it looks cool in that weird kind of trippy.
Hey, cool. Wow.
Way. Yeah.
I'm tripping balls.
I mean, there's not really much going on here. It's a screensaver. And that's especially clear when compared to the winners for the 9 other songs, which all feature clear narratives and distinctive animation done in a variety of different styles. Obviously, way more work was put into these other videos, but by extension, more thought was also put into them.
Yeah. That's the thing, is when an interesting thing about animation is that it is such a fucking tedious medium to work in that everything you do is intentional.
Yeah.
Whereas the AI video does not feel intentional.
You just press the button.
Yeah.
Getting his own source material, whatever. But yes, you're not animating it.
It still feels like you poured a bunch of shit into a pot and turned it onto a boil, and it's just, look at all this stuff. Wow. Yep. But yeah, even having just a passing familiarity with the process, some of these videos clearly took forever to make. And that is especially clear in the behind the scenes videos for each one, where the artists actually show off their processes, compared to the behind the scenes for the AI one, where it's mostly just the guy sitting there talking about how much he likes Pink Floyd. Because beyond saying, I used AI to make this, there's really no process to go behind the scenes on.
No, we should pick this guy. He says he really likes the band.
Yeah, it just feels so disrespectful, not just to the viewers and the fans of the band, but also, like, especially to these other artists who, at a time when their livelihoods are increasingly threatened, they still took on the project, essentially for fun, with just the possibility of maybe some money, maybe some exposure. And now, even the fact that they did win this contest is overshadowed by the news that one of the 10 winners used AI. It just sucks. Like, when I was hearing about this, I didn't even see a mention that this was one of 10 videos. It was just an AI wins the contest. And I looked into it and I was like, oh, these other videos are fucking cool.
Yeah.
There's like claymation. There's like every different type of animation is represented. And like some of it it's very cool to watch. And you put it side by side with this AI one, like, you know, with a lot of AI art, you see it and you're like, hey, that's cool. But if you put it side by side with something actually made by a person, that's when it becomes much more clear. You're like, oh, actually, it kind of sucks by comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. But hey, look, good AI news right around the corner, right? The law does seem to be slowly catching up with technology in ways that are surely frustrating for the companies behind this technology who built their products off the backs of actual artists. Here's Gizmodo. Officially known as the Generative AI Copyright Disclosure Act, the proposed legislation would require that any AI company submit paperwork to the U.S. Copyright Office before the release of any new generative AI system in order to explain what copyrighted works were used to build its system.
We're going to need a lot of paper. Gonna need to go cut down some trees because...
And it's slightly too late in a lot of aspects, but you know, this is a good step, I guess.
It continues. Companies that have released generative AI products like ChatGPT and image generators like Midjourney have come under fire for using copyrighted works to train their models. The AI companies argue it's all legal under the fair use doctrine of U.S. copyright law, but the rights holders say it's a violation of their intellectual property rights. And some politicians seem to agree strongly with the rights holders. We must balance the immense potential of AI with the crucial need for ethical guidelines and protections, Representative Schiff said Tuesday in a statement posted to his website announcing the new legislation. My Generative AI Copyright Disclosure Act is a pivotal step in this direction, Schiff continued. It champions innovation while safeguarding the rights and contributions of creators, ensuring they are aware when their work contributes to AI training datasets. This is about respecting creativity in the age of AI and marrying technological process with fairness.
Now, one thing that's pretty glaringly not clarified in any of the coverage of this law that we've seen, though, is what happens when an AI company provides that presumably insanely long list of training data. Are the copyright holders entitled to compensation? It's their money and they do want it now.
I want it now.
Can they demand that their work be removed from the training data? Is that even possible? We highly doubt any of these companies have been keeping a detailed list of any of this. that's like recording your crime.
Yeah.
It seems like they just scraped the entire internet and had the robots just sort it all out. So it will be very interesting to see how this potential law ends up playing out. But in the meantime, it sounds like the AI companies have actually hit a pretty serious wall when it comes to their products ever actually reaching their advertised potential. Here's the Wall Street Journal last week.
Companies racing to develop more powerful artificial intelligence are rapidly nearing a new problem. The internet might be too small for their plans. Ever more powerful systems developed by OpenAI, Google, and others require larger oceans of information to learn from. That demand is straining the available pool of quality public data online at the same time that some data owners are blocking access to AI companies. Some executives and researchers say the industry's need for high-quality text data could outstrip supply within 2 years, potentially slowing AI's development. AI companies are hunting for untapped information sources and rethinking how they train these systems. OpenAI, the maker of ChatGPT, has discussed training its next model, GPT-5, on transcriptions of public YouTube videos,
No!
People familiar with the matter said. Companies also are experimenting with using AI-generated or synthetic data as training material, an approach many researchers say could actually cause crippling malfunctions. Yeah, do that. Feed the AI its own shit.
That's what's
Just have
inevitably
it
going
poop
to
directly
happen.
into its mouth.
That's just
That'll do it.
That's the inevitability because it has already scraped all of the internet and now it's producing a bunch of AI garbage and regurgitating that onto the internet to once again consume it.
Yeah, I think you should do it. See what happens.
I don't know if they have any other options. I mean, Google's next to useless.
There's just not enough data.
Yeah.
Whoops. There's just a slight problem. Not enough data. But we'll get there.
It seems like this.
We have literally 10,000 years of.
It seems like
it's not enough.
The easy thing for these companies would have been to like legitimately license like the Encyclopedia Britannica, nonfiction works to understand language, poetry, maybe like the British Path or Getty Images, like working all of these things into something that could actually create. But instead,
thing is, I'm pretty sure they did already scrape all that shit.
Yeah, but then they threw it in with a bunch of like Reddit comments.
Yeah.
And they're like,
but it's not enough.
Everyone said the sun's absolutely fucked, bro. Like, anyways, so yeah, similar to how the holy grail of AGI is apparently only possible if there's some historic breakthrough in energy production like fusion, it's also only possible with more training data than currently exists. It just doesn't exist.
That's a slight problem.
Everyone start tweeting.
We'll figure it out.
Grok needs to learn. Feed Grok your tweets. And according to recent research, this problem might be exponential, meaning, for example, in order to get version 2, you need 2 times the data. For version 3, you need 4 times the data. For version 4, you need 16 times the data. For version 5, you need 256 times the data, etc. It seems like a pretty serious problem for a class of products that, as we always point out, are currently impressive, but not at all useful. And it seems that despite the rapid improvements in the past couple of years, it might still be a long time before AGI is on the horizon.
Yeah, let's say the curve is like this.
Yeah.
Or for the viewer, like this.
Mm-hmm.
We're like here, and it's like, oh, I can see it, right? It's right up there. We're heading straight in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the amount of just energy, there's like a bottleneck with GPUs and chips, server space, and now actual training data. It's like, I think Ed Zitron is right. I think we are at peak AI.
Yeah.
And it's kind of all downhill from here. We'll see.
Well, that's good.
Seems like, it seems bad though.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to make a worse internet overall.
And once this actually becomes clear to the public and to investors, it will have disastrous consequences across the entire tech industry.
Luckily, not every single company in the entire fucking tech space just trumpeted the amazing powers of AI over the past year and a half or so in every single company meeting and shareholder event, right?
I need to sell my NVIDIA. I bought that shit in like 2017 and it has increased in value 8,000%.
Good.
Which is cool. I'm like, that's wild. But also I'm like, when does the bottom fall out on this? This doesn't make any sense. Like, they're a great company. They make great products, but like that, all of that valuation is based on potential in the future. And it's like AGI is right around the corner. Is it?
They'll always,
because if it's not, that's bad.
Yeah. You'll just get like a stock split or something, which I'm sure
They've
has already happened.
They've already
Yeah,
split
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for this week's episode of Tech News Day. We will be back for a news dump coming right up. But in the meantime, make sure you like the video, first of all. No sponsors, so click the join button. Do all that fun stuff. But of course, like the video, leave a comment, reply to a comment. And now, popping up on the screen, we got 2 new videos for you. We have people burning their eyeballs out, staring at the sun, and also a case of very frustrating, very intense identity theft. Check both of those videos out. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.